Good morning, good evening, and welcome everyone to European Racing Organization. This is season 6, and we are in the F4 division round 2. The first round was in Bahrain, and this time around we are at the beautiful Suzuka circuit, the only figure of 8 track on the calendar. The drivers are already 16 drivers if I'm not wrong, and this should be a beautiful race on this track. So let me know how you're doing in the comments, and we'll quickly jump into qualifying, which is an 18-minute qualifying, which will set the grid for the 50% race. Right, so waiting for drivers to set their, I think it's the tire strategies. I don't know if that is still available to change, because in real life you cannot, but I don't know if you can change in the game whether you want a softer tire allocation, harder or balanced. So let's see if this is, yeah, it is going to be a dry quali from the looks of it, bright sunny skies. So we'll have to wait and watch if the race is going to have any rain in it. Right, so okay, so Zeke, if I'm pronouncing that name right, is saying you can't change the tire allocation but you still get the pop-up. Okay, fair enough. And we already have the comment to like the video or get a puncture. So we have 2 likes already, but the 5 people who have not liked this video yet, please like, drop a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And we should be underway soon. We see a few cars leaving already, so let's quickly get our data in and see who has exited the pits. I think it's an Alpha Tauri. Yeah, there it is, the Alpha Tauri of GML Kogucic. I think, yeah, it is GML Kogucic. He's having his first laps on the circuit, as I am not able to change my camera for some reason. I'm running on board all the time. That's really weird. Oh yeah, there, finally, there we go. So let's see what kind of lap time he puts in. I'll quickly see the results of the last race if I can bring them out in front of me. Where did Kogucic finish? I think he had a good race last time out. Well, he finished P9. Let's see what he does in the AlphaTauri this time around. And he will be one of the first persons to set a lap time. He is on the soft tires, the red marked soft tires. We can see Sickle, who is also on an outlap on the mediums, as well as Murphy. So Murphy, our race winner in Bahrain, and Sickle, who finished P6 if I'm not wrong. So these are the 2 drivers who have fitted the yellow marked mediums. And an alternate strategy, if there is no safety car involved, especially mediums to softs, could also be very powerful if executed to perfection. But here goes Kogucic. Let's see how he takes turn 1 as he approaches it for the first time in this session, and that was clean as you like, and still leaving some time on the table. I think he's still not attacking the corner as he would have liked, probably just putting a banker time in. And let's stay on board with him for the rest of the lap and see what kind of lines he takes through these corners, as the first sector is more or less done. And yeah, that's probably my favorite first sector on the calendar. Those SS are a treat to get through. Or he goes wide there. Has he invalidated? No, he has not. He has kept the lap time. That's good for him, Kogucic. And he now approaches the U-turn or the hairpin and short shifting to third on the exit so that he can... Yep, thank you Pepperoni, thank you. I hope you like the coverage and the commentary for these races. Let's hope we can get through the 17 races long season. Wow, what a long season we have. I think 17 races on the calendar with 3 or at least 2 new tracks in the season, so that should be a lot of fun. And approaching 130R is Kogucic. Let's see, it should be pretty much flat out in the race conditions as well, unless there is some rain on the cars. And now the last turn more or less, and yeah, pretty much Standard here missed the apex a little bit at the entry and not the best of the runs through there, but across the line he goes with the 28.564. So he has put down the marker, and let's see if people are going to beat that. As there's a Ferrari. Oh, what happened to Sickle? That's a red. That's an Alfa Romeo, not a Ferrari. And luckily for him, he has kept it running. At least he is now going to go into the pits. But that was almost a retirement on his lap. Hollow Man meanwhile goes P2 with a 28.7. So the first lap from Kokochi, it seems like a good one, as people are not able to beat that lap. Bios on a lap, I think, approaching Spoon now, and across the line goes a McLaren. I think they were probably, yeah, they're in the pits. So Bios will be the next person to cross, as just put a second sector purple. So the Williams going nicely, and now, yeah, I got that, Fry Pepper. I got that it is you, because you asked me that. I hope you're not going to ask me again to say that word which you want me to say last time, or last season rather. So let's see. Murphy meanwhile approaching the Spoon corner. Oh, and he has a lot of traffic in front of him. Let's hope he does not get impeded here, because you can see on the minimap, if you can just in the top bottom right rather, you can see a lot of cars there. He might just be able to get through the traffic, but it's going to be close. You can see there are at least 7 cars there, as he has gone pretty fast in the second sector, and yeah, I think it's all clear for him. So this should be fine for the McLaren driver, and he is one of those drivers who are really fast, has started the race or started season with a win. Across the line goes Murphy. It should be pole. It is on mediums. Provisional pole for Murphy. It's a 28.3. So what a lap from him. Is Yano on a lap now? He is, and he's into sector 1. So let's see if we are finding someone closer to the lap. Is Donolu on a lap? He is in sector 1 as well. So let's go back with Yano then and see what it does. He has put a purple first sector, so a lot of lap time to find for all the drivers, as the track will also improve and the conditions will also improve. The track will evolve. That will provide drivers with more grip rather, as the Mercedes of Yano makes its way through the second sector. And you can see at the exit of that hairpin, he was not using all of his track. There's a yellow flag somewhere. I think that's just an Alpine maybe going slowly, but that should be fine. He's preparing for his hot lap. But Yano now approaching the second sector split. Keep an eye on the top left. It's a 12.1, so not sure if it's the purple, but I think the game showed it was purple. And with a couple of more corners to go, the Mercedes is looking good, and let's see if I can match the time put by Oloman or maybe even Cockroaches. Across the line he goes, and he goes P3, so slots between the two drivers we spoke about. And King meanwhile on a lap as well. He has just started his lap. What is Miyake doing? He has started his lap as well. So yeah, 9 drivers already putting in their lap times, and Sickle is back out again. So now this time he has come out on those soft tires, so he has dropped that idea of trying to set in a lap time on the mediums, and he's gone deep there. That was not the optimum line through that first turn, but I think his car is also lagging a bit, so I'm not entirely sure if that's something which he would have preferred. But again, this glitch, I'm pressing R1 but I'm not able to change camera type. Yeah, there we go, now we are able to change. So I think throughout the first sector I think I'm stuck on the onboard camera. So this game just keeps on giving this glitches which we are not aware of. 111.9 for King, so I think he will also be the one to challenge the likes of Yano and Holoman. I think maybe even Kokochich if he gets a good third sector. Now the Aston Martin car makes his way, is careful on the throttle, hugs the inside line for the line to the corner, and yeah, there you go. He has beaten both of the drivers and has put P2 with a 28.4. But that lap from Murphy on the mediums, I don't think he needs to run again at all for the rest of the lap, because on rest of the session, because that's a really good light time on mediums, and I'm not sure how many drivers can actually beat it. Sickle could be one of them. He was running really nicely through the second sector and across the start finish line. He comes, he goes P1 with a 28.314. That is a really good lap from him, and let's see what he does for the rest of the session. Lees, who I think DNF'd in the last race in Bahrain, is now going to finish his lap. Let's see where it puts him. I think again it will be in that top 5 probably, or top 6. Let's see as he comes across the line, the McLaren driver, and he goes P5 with a 28.6. So lap times are coming in hot and fast now. And what is Miyake doing meanwhile? He's in his Alpine and he's now approaching the Spoon corner, which is also one of the trickier corners of the circuit. There's a yellow flag somewhere. I think there's a Red Bull which has... Oh, Murphy! Oh, not Murphy, it's Miyake, who took that curve a little bit more than he should have, and he has spun his car. So that's his lap time gone in the bin. And Black Wolf meanwhile now will come across the line. This is a very tricky traction zone. You can't get on the power very early. Goes P13, the 30.2, so he has more time to find. What is Ordinio doing? I think he's on his... Well, he's not on the out lap according to the game, but he's definitely not on a push lap right now. So is he going for one more lap after this? Let's wait and watch. Or is he going to peel into the pits? Yeah, he is going for it. So Ordinio is one of those few people who are on a lap, and Pachalides, we completely missed that, has gone into P2. So it's an Alfa Romeo P1 and a Ferrari P2 right now as it stands, both the Italian cars. And let's go back. Oh, what happened there? What happened there to Giroud? He's lost his wing completely and he's parked at a dangerous location there. That's the first sector with the SS. He has to be really careful here. There's still a McLaren which is approaching. You can see from his car now. I hope he gets out in time, because Murphy seems to be on a... Yeah, he's on an out lap, so he is fine. That's absolutely fine. What's Ordinio doing meanwhile? Ordinio, who was in F5 division last time out, I think. So he has made that step up to Division 4, and I think he was also... Well, he did not win the driver's title, but I think he was in the fight at least for a few races, if I'm not wrong. And he's on his way. Let's see the second sector split. People have been putting 111.9s. What does Aldinho put? 12.4. So that would be a lap which might not put him in the top maybe 10, but let's see where his car actually is when he completes the lap. Across the line comes the Red Bull, and it's P11, so just out of the top 10, 2 tenths or 1.5 tenths of what Giroud's time is. Is Will Simpo on a lap as well? Well, I don't think he is. So who's on a lap right now? I think Bios is on a lap. Oh no, I think he just completed one lap, so he is into P5. I think he went about 8 tenths faster. Let's try to catch someone who is on a lap right now. I think Murphy now is on a lap, and he's now... Oh, there's someone behind. There's a Mercedes, I think. But Murphy, let's ride on board with him and see what Murphy can do here. And he has... Remember, he set his time on the mediums. So he is not... Right now, at least, he's going for it. So he does not want to start on the mediums. Maybe we'll see if he actually completes his lap. He's completely throwing the car into the first deck now, and that was nicely done, avoiding the inside curve for the second deck as well. Now into the tricky braking zone, or the hard braking zone of the hairpin. Goes down to second gear, short shifts to third before he gets on the power, and then this long straight before he makes another braking decision for Spoon, where you can get caught out by the curbs, as Miyake showed us. So let's see how he does. Again, avoids the curb, so I think that's probably a smart thing to do on this game. Uses a lot of the exit curb, and then he will be just one braking decision to make after all from here on in the third sector, that is approaching the final chicane, as he now brakes just after the 50-meter road, and then that was nicely done through that, using a lot of curve but keeping the car on the left once again, and across the line he goes. He's gone P1 again with a 27.6. What a lap from Murphy. And wow, what a lap from Murphy. What has Sickle got in store? He has to find almost 3 tenths there if he wants to challenge Murphy. And let's see what Sickle can do here. There's a sector, 1 yellow flags. Murphy has gotten fast, but it's hardly a tenth, so I don't know if this is going to be enough. We will have to wait and see. This might be an improvement in time, but will it be an improvement in position for Sickle? Across the line goes Sickle. It is a 128.185, still not in the 127s. So wow, that's a huge gap between P1 and P2 right now. It's more than 5 tenths. Jano has retired. I think that's in the pits, so that's absolutely fine. With just a couple of minutes to go. Kogucic meanwhile is improving by 3 tenths here, so this could put him, this could actually put him P2 or P3 here if he can nail the final part of the lap. As Kogucic goes across the line, it goes P2 with a 28.140. So I think Murphy's lap, I think it's good enough for pole right now, with a lot of gap to the drivers behind. So this should be the pole sealed for Murphy. I don't think he has the time, or probably he wants to save the tires for one more lap, as Miyake has gotten deep into Degna 1, and I think that's his lap done because he was not improving anyway. Sector 2 yellow flag. That's a Mercedes going slow. That's fine. What has Specialties got in store? I think he has just completed his lap, maybe. We'll have to see. Or is he pushing? We'll have to wait and see for the first sector split, which will be right about now. And yeah, he's improving. He is improving, and it's more than a tenth. So this could be a good lap for the Ferrari driver. Let's stay with him. Oh, Black Wolf has been disqualified from the session. He's facing the wrong way. So what happened there? He's P15 right now and would have hoped to improve on his time. But as it stands, he will start from the back of the grid, the Mercedes driver. So let's see the number 21 of Mercedes in the Ferrari. And oh yeah, I think that's the car. No, that's Giroud getting out of the way. So into the gravel goes, I'm gonna call him Giroud. I think that's the pronunciation, and I'm not entirely sure if that's correct, but I don't think I have a choice, at least right now. Kogucic has retired in the pits, so his qualifying is done. He will not start any higher than P2, but let's see if Pasalides can do anything about that. Does he go P2? He does, with a 28.064. So still no one in the 27s, and I think that's what we are going to see for the rest of the session. I don't think anyone has the pace maybe to challenge Murphy at the top. His teammate, meanwhile, Pasalides' teammate has gone into the wall, and I think that's a DNF. How is that not a DNF? How did his wheel not come off there? He has lost his wing completely. But the speed at which he was approaching that wall, I was very sure he would... Oh my god, what a hit that was. What's Bios doing meanwhile? I think Bios has just completed his lap. Sickle is on an out lap meanwhile, so don't know how much time we have because it's 22 seconds, so he can't complete the lap. He will not be making it to the to the start finish line before the checkered flag falls. So unless there's a glitch and the time is running differently for drivers, or because I think there was a glitch in some other lobby where the time we see for spectator is different than what the time is seen for the driver, so that could also be a factor. But now Giroud is on a lap of himself, and I think he was improving by more than 2 tenths in the first sector. So let's see if he can lift himself into the top 10, 11.8. So that's a really good improvement, 5 tenths, and this would be really good for him. This could put him around P5, P6 here if he's getting the third sector nailed, and he comes across the finish line. He goes P5 with a 28.270, and is Bios on a lap still? Bios has invalidated. Is Spider on a lap? He is, but he's not improving either. I think we have our grid set, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, I think that's qualifying done for the Japanese Grand Prix. Murphy with the pole in the McLaren and absolutely untouchable. I think that was a good call from Murphy to put on a set of soft tires and get pole, because overtaking is a bit tough around this track, so it's better to get track position and the kind of pace which he seems to have especially in quali trim. Let's wait and watch what happens in race trim, but the kind of pace he has, he can absolutely dominate from here and go on an easy one-stop strategy. Well, so let's wait for the time to run out, because I think the game will not move on to the next part of the session, which is the race, until the time runs out. So enjoy the cars, and I will get rid of everything else on the screen. Right, so that's the grid in front of you. Murphy taking pole by 4 tenths over Pachalides in P2, with Kokuchich and Sickle in P3 and P4, Giroud in P5, King and Bios on the Giroud and King on the third row of the grid, with Bios and Lees taking up the fourth row. With Will, Simp and Yano are the final drivers who will not have any tire choice, and from P11 it's Oloman, Ordino, Miyake, Donoliu, Spider and Black Wolf, who was disqualified from the session. So Oloman onwards are the drivers who will have tire choice, and it will be interesting to see what they choose. But on towards the race, this should be a good one, and let's see if rain is going to be a factor here, because Japan, you can get rain sometimes and the conditions can be really treacherous, especially with the curbs in this game. It could be a tough race in store if it's wet. But it seems to be pretty dry. You can see the cars on the right bouncing on the grid, but it's dry and it's cloudy and no signs of rain, at least at the moment. Let's see if that changes. We will have a look, but it seems to be a standard dry race right now, and once the drivers are on their formation lap, we will have a look at the tire choices for the drivers starting out of top 10. Well, we are underway on the formation lap, and for tires, everyone on the softs except Black Wolf. Wow, I did not expect that. Wow, so let me know in the comments if this is surprising. Everyone on the soft tires from P1 to P15, and Black Wolf, the Mercedes, who was disqualified from the session as Ordino has disconnected now. But Black Wolf, who was disqualified and was P15 at the time when he was disqualified, but he is the only driver who is on those medium tires. But everyone else, you can see, I ride on board with them. Oh, what happened to Miyake there? Miyake has lost it at the exit of the last corner in the first sector is underway, and let's see if we can get a good race. You can see I'm going on board with people here, and everyone is going for those softs. Alright, so Zeke is saying it's not that surprising. Well, I see a lot of disconnections. I think Giroud has... Oh no, it's Kogucic who seems to have disconnected. So there are some connection issues for drivers, and let's hope that they are able to join in time, but I think they will not be able to join before the start of the race, so they will have to wait for a few corners on the first lap before they can take control of the car. So let's hope there are no major incidents on lap 1 or at least into turn 1, so no one loses their front wing and we have a good race to commentate on. So Penalties and Murphy on the front row. Let's see who can get a better start of the two of them and can lead into turn 1. Murphy has shown that he has tremendous pace around this track, so he would be hoping that he keeps that lead, because if he gets into clean air, it might be a very easy 27 laps for him up ahead. So the drivers are now setting their cars on the grid, and pretty soon we will see those 5 lights on the grid, after which we will get underway on this beautiful track, one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. Right, here we go. Do I have a good view of the start? Yeah, there we go. It's 5 lights on the grid. Aldino has a drive-through already and lights out. We're underway. It's a good start. It's a great start from Penalties. He will be taking the lead into turn 1. Murphy has not got a good start. There's 3 wide going into turn 1. 2 Aston Martins fighting each other. There's King and Giroud, but Giroud has to stay behind now. And further behind, it's Will Simpo, who has lost places as well. And Donald has gained 4 places, you can see. And up ahead, it's Ordino, which has a drive-through penalty. Kogucic has left the session, so that is going to be a problem. And there's a yellow flag. I think that's Ordino's car, which is slow into turn 1, and let's hope he can join in time. But up ahead, it's Murphy who is putting the pressure on the race leader, who is now gaining on the straight. So it's a good start from Penalties, exactly what he would have wanted after having started in P2. Took the lead into turn 1 with a brilliant start. And oh, what happened to King? King is losing places like anything, and I think he has made contact with someone, or did he just spin on the curb? Not entirely sure, but he has dropped a lot of places there. And what's happening with Giano and Lees? It's a virtual safety car, and Ordino has been disqualified from the session. He doesn't have a front wing, and Ordino has been disqualified. He hardly could go a sector here. Wow, that is really unfortunate for him. The virtual safety car is out, as you can see. No one has dived into the pits. And what happened to Penalties? Oh no, that's fine. He's still leading the race. It's just... Oh, King has a drive-through. It's all kicking off here. King has a drive-through. His race has gone from bad to worse. There was another car. Who was that? Was it Donald? It was. Oh my god, what just happened? The virtual safety car is now in, and Donald has been overtaken by Kogucic. Up ahead, what's happening? Murphy is on the back of Penalties, but it's all fine. Giroud, after having battled his own teammate, is now on the back of Sickle, and that was a dive bomb and a half, but Giroud might just get the position he has, and I'm not sure if he has done it because there was definite contact, but Giroud is through. And where is Bios and all that? That's fine. And Sickle has basically lost a position of the restart at the restart, and he would be hoping to get that back from the top pack. What happened to Will Simpo now? Again, that's the spoon. Oh no, you don't do that, Simpo. He has retired on purpose, according to me, and that's something which you have got on stream now, so you can investigate if the stewards are watching. But wow, that was probably a rage quit. Either ways, it's Murphy on the back. What a terrible camera angle that was, looking at the driver's eyes when I want to see the onboard or something like that. And Lees meanwhile is on the back of Bios now. So The top pack is still pretty much close to each other as Kogucic sets the fastest lap of the race, so you clearly can see his pace. But unfortunate Giroud has lost it. So many incidents in the first few laps alone. He's taking off the advertising boards as well. And before he goes full throttle, he has to ensure that he can... Yeah, now he can go full throttle after the grass has been disposed of. And the top two are really close here. The McLaren on the back of the Ferrari, and the cars or the constructors which are battling in real life as well for P3 are now battling on track in Japan. Let's see what Murphy can do. There's a yellow flag. I think that's Donolue again. It is, but we have to focus on this battle for the lead here, and they are basically dropping Sickle at this rate. And let's see if Murphy has anything to show for. Not here, but on this next lap he will get the advantage of the slipstream as well as DRS. So Murphy has had a good run through the last corner, and now he will make use of that DRS and slipstream. He's gaining on Pasalides, but is it going to be enough? He will probably just run out of straight. Murphy is not going for it, and Lees has meanwhile lost a position to Yano. So Yano is in P5, the Mercedes, and further behind it's the Alpine and the Williams who are battling, and the Alpine of Miyake is through. Oloman now on the back of Lees. There's a yellow flag once again, and I think that's Kogucic who has lost it. He's now going to... Oh, I hate it when people do that. Anyway, we have to stay with this battle now, because Oloman on the back of Lees. Is he going for a move? No, he does not. Stays behind for now, and the front pack is absolutely glued together. So that's not the end of the battle. And what has Murphy got in store for Pasalides this time? Because he's closer. Let's see if he's going to go for the move. A yellow flag once again. I think there's Hollow Man who has dropped it. Is now rejoined, but I think he got a little bit out of shape in the spoon corner. Murphy behind Pasalides, almost running into the back of him. And let's see, Donalus is retired. It's a virtual safety car again, and we have just 13 runners now. Wow. Yano in the pits. Now this is going to be crucial. Yano in the pits, going on those hard tires. He wants to go to the end. Giroud in the pits as well. So is Oloman. And there's a full course safety car now. So that's the early safety car which Zeke was talking about. And Yano will be the first person on the hards. Yeah, he is. So what do the top runners do now from P1 to P7? This is going to be really close. So 12 seconds is the gap which Yano has ahead of him. I am not sure if that's enough for him to take the lead of the race right now, but it's decreasing. So it is decreasing. So Yano, if everyone pits in the... Oh, what happened to Giroud there? Giroud, I think, lost it at the exit of the final corner in sector 1. But now Yano has caught up to the back of the pack. So this has... played beautifully into his hands. If there is no more safety car for the rest of the race, he doesn't have to make any stops here, the Mercedes driver, and everyone else in front of him have to stop at least once. So he would be hoping for a few people to pit and clear his way, and they will join behind him anyway. So that would be really good for him. Tholoman is in the same position as Yano in P9. Giroud has gone for a mediums. Now I'm not sure if the mediums can go to the end. I honestly don't think they can go 22 laps. Well, it's not impossible, but I am not sure if they can go to the end. So let's see what the leaders do. Pasalides will be the first person to make a decision. whether he wants to come in or stay out. And what is he doing? I think he's coming in. Yeah, Pasalides is in. Murphy stays out. Sickle is in. Bios is in as well. Lee stays out. So both the McLaren drivers stay out. Miyake has stayed out as well. So they don't want to get stuck in the traffic, which promotes Yano to P5, Holoman into P6, Giroud to P7. Where does Sickle come out? I think Bios has overtaken, maybe no, Bios has not, but so Pasalides, who was leading the race, has come out in P10. And on the mediums, now the mediums again, just like Giroud, has come out in P10, so he has lost 9 positions because of that. I'm not sure if that's the right call right now. While there's a safety car, so there will be few laps, or at least one more lap under the safety car, so he doesn't need to take a lot of life out of those tires already. But it's going to be tough for him to get those to the end, just like Giroud. And those hard runners are looking really good right now if they can stick with those soft runners. But I think the decision for Murphy to stay out was probably, I think he was going to do the opposite, in my opinion, of Pasalides, because he knew that he might not have a lot of opportunities to overtake on track. So whatever Pasalides was doing, and Pasalides was in front, so Murphy had the opportunity to react to that. Because the Ferrari driver went in the pits, Murphy has stayed out, so has his teammate. That's surprising as well. So both the McLaren drivers would be hoping to stay out longer, and Murphy can use Liege as a rear gunner and hold off other drivers before he can create a gap and then pit on those mediums. So the safety car, not sure if it's coming in. We don't have a confirmation yet, but the pack is almost bunched. You can see Kogucic has joined at the end of this pack, but I think the safety car will go on for one more lap. No, it's in this lap. Good, it's in this lap, so we are going to go green right away. That's good to see. And this restart is very important for hard runners as well, because they would lose so much temperature under the safety car. And I think Murphy has not gone yet. He's still weaving, trying to get temperature. Now he has gone, and he has left other drivers for straight. What happened to Spider? He's losing a lot of positions there, and riding on board with Holoman. He has a car besides him, and what is he going to do? He takes the position, and further behind, Black Wolf and Giroud are getting ahead. Giroud on Yano, and Giroud has taken the place. So that's exactly what I was talking about. Yano losing the position. He was P5 and now he's P7, and those are the hard tires, not up to the temperature right now. And he has a very fast driver of King on the back of him. So it's going to be tough for Yano in the first few laps, but after a while he will get reward for this, as King is just 2 tenths behind Yano. Is King going to go for a move or dive bomb or somewhere here? He does not, and you can see that other drivers have to stay behind for now. And yes, you are right, Holoman is the net leader of the race, and he is being caught up by Giroud now. So Holoman has to be careful here and ensure that he keeps the position which he has, because if Giroud gets in touch with him, and if he had, Giroud is having none of it. Here he goes down the inside of Holoman and into 130R. Will they go side by side? Holoman tries to go inside, almost trying to do the switchback on Giroud, but is he going to lose another position now? No, he will not. The Red Bull driver stays in P6, but he is now caught by Yano. So the two hard drivers are again, but here goes King. Is down the inside, he's not using, and there's a sector 3 yellow flag. I think that's Sickle. What happened to Sickle? Oh, that's unfortunate. Sickle has lost a lot of positions, and what's happening up front with Bios and Black Wolf, but Black Wolf, rather Bios and Kogucic, and it's Kogucic who has to give the place back. King, meanwhile, what's happening with him? He's trying to get past Yano, but now Yano's tires should be up to temperature, so not it won't be that easy to overtake as it was in the first few laps, but King will probably go down the inside. He does, and Yano has to give him the room, but Yano will have the traction coming out of the corner since he was maybe able to get on the power early. Let's ride on board with Pashalidish, who is running in P9, and see what happens up ahead. Giroud and Spider are battling, and Giroud is through into P4, riding on board with Pashalidish now. King is still behind Yano, so Yano doing a wonderful job, I must say. Wonderful defensive job, and let's see where it takes him. Spider is also yet to pit, so he will lose some positions when he actually pits, but further up ahead now. Let's go up. And what does Miyake and Lees do? So both McLarens are still staying out, Murphy and Lees, none of them pitting. Is King gonna move? He is not, so he is still behind Yano, and it is really hurting King's race right now. He would have hoped to get a few positions at the start to ensure that he is able to make use. Oh, Blackfoot, something happened to Blackfoot there. Well, he's back underway, but I'm sure he lost some positions there, and King is really getting stuck in right now, and Basalidish is right behind them. There's a yellow flag in sector 1. I think that's Sickle once again. Up ahead, Giroud and Miyake are battling. Giroud has lost it. What happened to Giroud? He has lost it. It was looking so good. He has lost it. And wow, what a race we are having this. It's all happening. It's so chaotic. It's hard to keep up with whatever's happening. But Lees has a 3-second time penalty, so that's not something which is good. Pashalidish is past Giroud, so that's really bad for him. And Spider now on the back of Hollowman, who is also on the hard tires. So the hard runners are getting caught up, and they are under a lot of attack from the softer runners. But I think their strategy will pay dividends once the first round of pit stops are done. Murphy still stays out for one more lap, so does Leash. So let's have a look as Giroud pits probably for a pit stop. What does Hollowman does? He is already catching up to Miyake, so now it seems like that he has had the pace and the temperature in the hard tires to make them work. But Murphy has a really healthy lead of 2.6 seconds up front, and we'll be hoping that he can get that a little bit higher so he can take advantage of the fresh mediums towards the end of the race in the second stint. Well, Aldino, what happened to you? You got disqualified, so if you're still watching, let us know what happened and what went on before you got disqualified from the race. I think you were in the Red Bull if I'm not wrong. So take us through what happened as Yano. Is he going to go for a move? No, he does not. He hangs back at Spoon, but will he have enough pace? Because King is right behind him, but Yano this time, I think he will go for the move. He's getting just about enough space, and let's stay on board with him, and King has to stay behind and just watch this battle. But Yano is not through, but he doesn't need to fight these people very hard because he knows the likes of Spider and even King for that matter will be coming in pretty soon. But up ahead it is Hollowman on Miyake. He will go around the outside maybe, and Hollowman is through. That's a pretty easy overtake. And oh, King, what happened to him? So both the Aston Martins not having a great race. Bayosh has had an excursion as well off the track. He is now getting overtaken by Black Wolf, and King has retired from the session. King has retired from the session. I'm not sure where that is. Is there a safety car? I'm not sure. But his teammate is now coming through, and we'll see where he has retired. Oh, there his car is. You can see he has retired. And well, I don't think it's a safety car, and we are going to resume racing. So as it stands, Oloman is set to have a really good lead in this race, and Pasalides is now coming back. Okay, so Ken is saying his tires were overheated from that spin and probably he spun into the wall. That's my assumption. As Yano on the back of Spider once again. Is Spider going to pit this lap? Murphy has stayed out. Is Lees coming in? No, they are not. So the soft tire runners are still not coming in, and I think they could or probably should come in now to get away from all this fighting. But riding on board with Yano, he still doesn't have that overspeed because Spidey had DRS as well. Oh, but Spidey has gone deep there, and Yano and Spidey are fighting. Yano is in the grass there, and Spidey has lost it, but Yano has lost the position as well to Pasalides. Now Pasalides with 5 laps already, he still has a long way to go, but Spider has lost a lot of positions because of that contact and the fastest lap. What happened to Murphy meanwhile? He has made a mistake as well, I'm pretty sure. He's leading by 3 seconds there, now leading by just half a second. And wow, what's happening? It is so close. The top 6 are within a second of each other, and the 2 Mercedes, or rather the 2 McLarens, are now battling. So this could be very, very tasty, and this is a race to the pit lane, I think, because they would be hoping to pit on this lap. Meanwhile, further behind, Murphy on the back of Oloman. Murphy is yet to pit. Oloman has made its pit stops. Murphy round the outside of 130R. Is he going to make it stick? He does. Murphy is through, and are the race leaders pitting now? Let's see. He stays out. Lees is staying out as well. Oloman is now under attack from Pasalides, who is suddenly having a really good run. Can he make 2 overtakes at once? Now it's going to be close here, and Oloman stays in front, so he has re-overtaken Miyake here, and Pasalides is into P4. Up ahead, the 2 McLarens are still going on, and further behind, Sickle has made a move on Black Wolf. So wow, I really need some water. There's a lot of action going on, and there is not a moment to spare in terms of commentary. Non-stop action, 13 laps. It was halfway through, and let's hope that the second phase of the race is a little bit calm, because this is very, very hectic to commentate on. Pasalides meanwhile on the back of, who's that? I think there's a car which is not doing so well, but Pasalides now on the back of Oloman, and I think he'll be through. But the smart thing to do probably for Oloman will be to let Pasalides go, because he knows he can get dragged along and use those hard tires later on. He knows the mediums will die off, and let's see, Pasalides is trying to go, but I think he'll have to stay back for at least a couple of more corners. But on the start finish straight, he will be through. Murphy pits meanwhile. Lees has to stay out for one more lap because they don't want to double stack. But here we go. There's a lot of direction changes, but Pasalides will make his way past Oloman, and he is into P2. So he started from P10 when he pit. He's into P2, and Murphy, let's see where he comes out. Meanwhile, Yano is on the back of Miyake, and Yano is also going to the end, but Miyake is yet to pit. So it's interesting that he still hasn't pit yet, Miyake. 14 laps or 13 laps on those soft tires. He definitely could have pitted earlier and gained some time. Now Murphy has come out in P10 on the mediums. Now let's see how long it takes for him to cut his way through the field, because he has a lot of overtaking to do before he can reach the likes of Yano and Pasalides as well as Oloman. Is the second. Let's follow this battle, because I think this is the lap where Lees will come in as well for his pit stop. Yano on the back of Miyake, but let's follow Lees now. Is he navigates the final corner, and he's in the pits easily. So that frees Pasalidish, who's having tremendous pace. Miyake is in the pits as well, and that basically means that the top three which you see right now are all going to the end, with Kogucic will be the next car who will be. So Kogucic was last at one point in time, but now Liege is exiting the pit lane. He is going to lose a position to his teammate as well, as Murphy makes a move on Black Wolf, but Liege is beyond Black Wolf as well, and this has really shuffled the grid. But now we are seeing some gaps emerging, and Pasalidish is showing absolutely tremendous pace here. 2.3 seconds clear of Holoman, and that gap is only going to increase in my opinion. So Holoman has a long race in front of him with Yano as well, but I think they're hoping that the likes of Murphy and Black Wolf, rather Sickle and Kogucic, not Murphy because Murphy was the race leader, but if Kogucic and Sickle can hold up Murphy while battling, it is going to be difficult for him to get the race win, but it's going to be nip and tuck as far as Pasalidish's medium tires are concerned for the Ferrari. Not sure if he will be able to go to the end, but if there's a safety car, they can very well put on a set of soft tires and then go to the end. But the driver making a move, or going to make a move now, it seems to be Liege, who has caught up massively to Black Wolf on this lap, which is his out lap. And I think this time on the start finish straight, it is going to be textbook pretty much. But Yano is on the back of Yoloman as well, so I think Yoloman has made some mistake there. But here goes Liege there. Does he have enough speed? I think he does, and he's just about going to make that move. Oh no, he's drowned. I think Yano has just about made it, but I think Liege has just about made it, but I think he avoided a pretty big collision there, and this is hurting his race right now. We'll keep an eye out on the gap between Sickle in P5 and Murphy in P6, because Murphy is catching up closely, and it is important for him to get past as fast as he can, as we are on board with Liege, and Liege is not able to get through the Mercedes of Black Wolf. So this is going to be a tough one for the second McLaren driver, as his teammate is a few seconds up the road. But that one lap overcut which he had attempted, but what's happening up front? It is Yano on the back of Holoman, the two hard runners, and Yano is through, but Holoman I think is in the wall. There was definite contact there at the exit of, or at the apex of 130R, and Holoman, who was running so good, is he coming into the pits? He's not. He's going on for one more lap. Liege meanwhile on the back of the Mercedes driver, and the Mercedes of Black Wolf just understeers that. I'm not sure if that was intentional, but he has made his way past Black Wolf. So now Liege has some catching up to do, with 5.7 seconds gap to his teammate in P6. And now let's see what happens. So P2 and P3 have changed. Yano has overtaken Holoman, who was being caught up, and for the next few laps it's Murphy which we have to take our focus on, because he is catching Sickle lap after lap, and I think he will have DRS on the next lap, as Bios, who is running P12 right now, gets a 3-second time penalty, so that will not help his race at all. But it will be interesting to see a sector 1 yellow flag. For whom is that? Is it for Spider? It is. So the Williams, I think these are the both Williams running at the bottom of the grid. Yeah, it is Spider, and that's not good news for the team. Another driver catching Black Wolf is now Miyake, and Miyake, with those fresh mediums, will be able to make his way past pretty quickly if he's able to keep it clean and efficient across. Murphy on this lap might just miss out on DRS, so he'll have to wait one more time. Holoman in the pits, I think that was damaged, that's why he's in the pits, and he can put on a set of soft tires, but he'll have to have a very long pit stop. Yeah, there you go, it's a wing change for him, as well as a set of mediums and not softs. So maybe he didn't have any fresh softs. But Oloman is going to come out. He's going to lose a lot of positions, isn't he? He's going to come out behind Giroud. So he'll come out in P10. And that's not going to help his race at all. And Miyake meanwhile has made his way through. And he's up into P7. And because of Leach's penalty, let's have a look at penalties. Leach has a 3-second time penalty. So Miyake, as it stands, will finish ahead of Leach. So he will take P6. But let's see if the gap increases or decreases for the next few laps. And speaking of gaps, Murphy now has caught up to Sickle. Now this is the battle we have been waiting for. Murphy deciding to stay out on soft tires at the safety car. Sickle deciding to go on the hards, which will take him to the end. But the pace difference between those tires will be absolutely tremendous. Spider meanwhile has a 3-second time penalty added to his race time. And Murphy, I think the next time they're on the start-finish straight, will be able to make his way past Sickle, who is just around 2 seconds behind Kogucic, but Kogucic himself is 9.5 behind likes of Yano. So Murphy has to be very, very quick with his overtakes, not waste any time. And here he goes. Sickle has defended the inside, but it's absolutely to no use. Murphy is through into P4, and now he is going to catch Kogucic in a lap or two to make sure that he is on the podium positions already. So it's looking good for Murphy right now, but we'll have to see if he can get past Yano and Penalties, because his tires will be second end as well by the time he gets a gap of second. Oh, what happened in sector 1? That's Leach. His teammate, Murphy's teammate, has lost it. Does he have damage? Doesn't seem like it, but it seemed like a spin maybe. And he has lost that. I think he has lost at least 4 positions there from, well, 5 positions there from rather 3 positions from P5 to P8. So he'll have to make up for that mistake, as Murphy now on the back of Kogucic and in DRS range already. So Murphy is absolutely flying on those fresh mediums right now. Now I want to see what happens with Penalties and Yano up front, because Yano has slowly but surely catching up, and those medium tires with 13 laps under them will not be feeling too good. But here goes Murphy now. Let's ride on board with him. And can he get past Kogucic on this lap? I think he can. Kogucic has nothing to defend with. Murphy is using all his battery in a hope to get past. Why do we get this camera? I don't know. But he is into P3 and he has to wait for 10 seconds. What happened to Penalties? Oh! Our race leader. He has completely bent it and he has let Murphy through his... Oh, there's more contact there, and that's with Kogucic. And that's those warm tire, hot tires and cooked up tires, which is what has caused this. So Murphy now has a clear view of Yano. 10 seconds he has to catch in 7 laps, and I think it's doable. Kogucic going wide at sector 2. Is he going to take the place back from... Well, he has given the place, or he has conceded the place to Penalties, but Penalties was running so well. Here goes Miyake now, is looking really interested into Spoon. He's letting the other 2 drivers battle it out and doesn't want to get involved. There's a yellow flag again. I think that's Spider who has spun once again. But wow, what a battle we are having here for P4. Penalties making a mistake, and that has cost him time, positions, as well as Kogucic some time and a position. But it's important that Kogucic keeps his cool and goes on for the rest of the race. None of the drivers is pitting. Oh, Penalties is spitting now, so he has to now go on a set of softs. Yeah, definitely softs if he has a fresh set of softs. So his race has gone from being the race leader to now outside of the points when he exits the pits. So Not the best of the laps for him, as Miyake is on the back of Kogujic now. The gap up front has not come down that much. I think it's come down by a second now, but I think pretty soon Murphy will be making some real inroads into Yano, and Yano with every second passing will be hoping for those mediums of Murphy to die off. Lees is now on the back of Black Wolf, so Lees made a mistake as well. Oh, Black Wolf! What happened to Black Wolf there? Did he let Lees by, or did he make a mistake of his own? I'm not entirely sure. But either ways, Lees is back into P6. Murphy now are properly on the back of Kogujic, and I think there's only one winner here in this battle. Miyake has to just stay behind over here, doesn't need to do anything rash, and on the start finish straight he should be able to get past with the help of DRS, and well, his battery is depleted, so it's not like he has a lot of battery, but his overspeed will help him. Now Murphy, or rather Miyake, is using his battery. Kogujic is hugging the inside line. This is going to be close. It's not done yet, but Miyake is through, and Miyake with those medium tires should be able to push on and create a gap enough to not bother about Kogujic anymore. So Miyake has E4 sealed right now. Now the gap is similar to what Murphy has to Yano. So can he get P3 over Sickle now? Because Sickle, remember again on those old hards. Can Miyake get P3? That would be insane, as there's a yellow flag in sector 1. Is that Spider again? No, it's not. It's someone else. I think it was Bios. Yeah, it was his teammate Bios, who is now coming under attack from Pasalidish, who's come out on a set of medium. So I think these people don't have soft tires, or fresh softs at least, which is why this is happening. Pasalidish almost running into the back of Bios. This is for points, remember, this last point paying position in the period, as his teammate has lost it as well. And oh, that was definite retirement on track. He was nowhere near any walls. So I think that Spider has retired on track. That's my understanding of the situation, at least from where he was on the track. There was no way he was near any wall to have crashed into. But on board with Pasadish now, and he is going to make his way past Bios. Is he going to be before 130, rather before this section? Is he going for it? No, he stays behind, and Bios had made it pretty clear that he's going to make his way through, but it's Black Wolf who has lost a position to Giroud, and here goes Pasalidish now, and it's going to be easy for him as he is into the points. Up ahead, the gap is 6.5 seconds, and honestly, with 4 laps remaining after this one, I am not very sure if Murphy can catch Yano, because those hards which Yano is on seem to be very durable, and he's keeping just about enough pace. So this could be very, very close, and if at all Murphy is going to catch him, it's going to be at the very end on the last lap maybe. So this could be very, very close, so watch out for that battle. Miyake has caught up a little bit to Sickle, but again not by much. So it seems like the hards are quite durable, and the hard runners might just get away with it, running hards to the end without losing any further positions. So let's wait and watch. Someone who's coming back on one of those hard runners is Kogujic, and even after being overtaken by Miyake, Kogujic is fighting back as Pasadish on those fresh mediums is setting the fastest lap of the race. I don't think anyone is going to beat that anytime soon, but time is running out for Murphy here with 3 laps to go after this one. He has to catch Yano by almost 2 seconds a lap if he wants to make anything work. What happened to Black Wolf? has had a terrible race so far, and that's Pasaldis coming through, and that's Bios coming through, and now Black Wolf is out of the points. What's Giroud got to do meanwhile? He is on the back of Leash, and let's have a look at penalties. It's 3 seconds for both, so whoever wins this on track. Leash has fresher tires, but Giroud seems to have pace in that Aston Martin. And let's see in the final 3 laps of the race if Giroud can make his way past the German driver, whose teammate is catching up to Murphy once again. But if you see in the last lap, he has Kokucic has another penalty, so that is really unfortunate. I think that's probably more penalties than Leash. Yeah, it is. So if Leash can get within 3 seconds of Kokucic, who is also on the hard tires, so maybe Leash can probably make those inroads. He can get P5 here, so let's keep an eye on that gap as well. But yeah, as I said, the gap at the front, it's not really reducing. Murphy is not catching Yano fast enough, and the gap has reduced by hardly a second in the last lap and a half, not even 1 full second. So I don't think Murphy is going to catch Yano here. There's 2 laps to go. I think those hards have preserved themselves tremendously well, and Black Wolf meanwhile is in the pits for a set of soft tires, so he has a chance to take away the fastest lap point from Pasardis. Let's have a look what he does on his final 2 laps of the race after he exits the pits. Giroud on the back of Leach again, and is Kokucic going to make any moves on Miyake? I don't think so, but I think Giroud probably is in striking distance. He doesn't have a lot of battery remaining. He's going to go for it, but I don't think he has enough time. Pasalic has made a mistake again and has lost a place. Giroud has closed up to Leach, but still not enough. But Pasalic has made a mistake. I'm pretty sure he was ahead of Bios, but now he is back into P10 and will get just 1 point from the race, maybe 2 if his fastest lap is not broken. But let's have a look at this battle, which seems to be hotting up. And while Leash is being caught up by Giroud, he is also catching up to Kokucic. So if Kokucic is not alert here, the gap is 3.9 right now. If it is within 3 seconds, if it's less than 3 seconds, Kokucic will lose that position because of, oh, that's so close. Can Giroud get a better exit? No, he does not, and is still using all of his batteries. So he's trying in absolutely every sense of the word. Is he going to go for a move right now? No, he does not. Is he go down the inside? He has to stay behind, and Leach will stay ahead for 1 more lap at least. Giroud almost loses the car, and he's again using his battery, so he's trying every possible opportunity to get past Leach. And because he doesn't have ERS, I think that's probably why Leach is able to stay ahead. Let's have a look at Leach, and his battery is not that great either, but because Giroud doesn't have a lot of battery left as well, I think he's able to stay ahead. But we have started the final lap of the race. The Kokucic is trying to go for an overtake one last time, but it's futile because even if he overtakes, oh, there's a sector 2 yellow flag. Is that for Black Wolf? Yeah, it was for Black Wolf, but he is fine. His teammate is leading the race, and what a strategic call it has been for him. We'll go to this battle right now because Giroud is within 2 tenths. I think he has been the closest he has ever been on this stint, and he is trying to make a move for it. It's just not working out for him. Just a few more corners to go for Yano. I think he has driven a really wonderful race. The strategy call to pit for hard tires has worked out, so Yano is going to win the Japanese Grand Prix with Murphy. What a comeback from him after staying out for extra laps. He made his way through the field but in the end it was not enough. So it's a Mercedes of Yano who wins the second round of season 6 in F4 division. Murphy in P2, Black Wolf has retired from the session, Sickle in P3, and this battle is still going on. Can Giroud do anything about P6 here? Is he going to go for a move? He does not. Leash protects his car really well. Giroud is still trying his level best, but he almost loses it. It's Kogucic in P5. Leash, oh, he overtakes. Both of them overtake Kogucic, so maybe he had more penalties. Giroud in P6, Kogucic P7. Hollowman was running so good. Also one of those hard tires runners, but had to pit because of damage into P8. Bios will finish in P9 and are race leaders for some time. Pasalidish is going to finish in P10, but he also has the fastest lap to his name, so he'll get 2 points from this race. But what a race that was in Suzuka, as Yano deservedly gets the driver of the day. Brilliant drive from him. I think that was 22 laps on a set of hard tires, so that was really well done from Yano, and that was a good race, and that would help him in the Constructors' Championship as well as the Drivers' Championship. With final race results for you: Yano winning from Murphy and Sickle on the podium. Murphy gets a good drive from P13 to P4, and Leash in P5, Giroud in P6, both finishing ahead of Kogucic, who had time penalties. Oloman in P8, Pasalides actually finishing P9 because of penalties for Bios, and the non-finishers were Black Wolf, Spider, King, Donnelly, Will Simp and Aldino, who was disqualified from the race. So only 10 finishers at the end of it. There were a few DNFs, 6 to be precise, but overall a good race for season 2 and round 2 rather, not season 2, it's season 6. I apologize for that. It's been late for me, so I will see you next time. Until then, take care of yourselves. Good night and goodbye.